Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grumman Pilot's YouTube channel. And this morning we're going to talk about a specific item on your inspection checklist. It's called cabin group number 11. It calls for you to check the torque of the bolts in the end of your torque tube on each side, as well as the center bracket support bearing brackets. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, so we're talking about this bolt hole, this one, and the ones on the other side. As you can see, there are 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. So we have 8 bolts to check the torque of in the center, and we have 4 on either end. Now the ones on the end, they're down here in your fuselage, 9/16 here and 9/16 there. Depending upon what year you have, you may have 9/16 on the inside, or you may have as small as 3/8 on the steel pal nuts. It all depends. We've already checked the torque on these. We've checked the torque on the other side. We had one move. We're going to have to tighten it up a bit on the other side. And up here in the front, all those bolts are mostly masquerading behind RTV, but they're all up in here hiding away. And those are the bolts you want to check. And you do that according to the check sheet every year. Now what makes this particularly fun is, believe it or not, and we'll show a picture from the factory in '93. So here's a picture from the factory in 1993, and you can see after the installation, the first thing to go in is the torque tube. It's actually amazing that we can actually get a torque tube out of the airplane today without having to remove more than we have to remove. Where the torque tube is the first thing that is installed in the fuselage tub before, as they start building up the panel and the flight controls. So it goes in fairly early. The fact that you can change it after the fact as easily as we can is pretty amazing. So stand by. The original airplanes had metal plugs, and those were the hole plugs, 7/8 of an inch, and they were also sometimes called Wookiee buttons, because if you're a Star Wars fan and you look when the Wookiees show up, you look on their vest, they all had these buttons, these hole pins for buttons, and this is what an original one looks like, and they're called Wookiee buttons because of that reason. And these are the new plastic ones. They're like 75 cents each. You have 4 of them on the airplane, $3. The cheapest you'll find in airplane parts around. Call Flight Hero, I think we're even cheaper. But anyway, here's what the 4 new plugs that we'll be replacing after we check all the torque on these, so stand by for some more fun. By the way, these new plastic plugs, instead of being steel like the originals, when you have steel and aluminum together, you usually get a rust circle around here. The nice thing about the plastic, their white matches the airplane. You can paint them white, but they don't rust the airplane. And we've checked the torque on these 2 now. We're getting ready to attack the center section, which requires getting the RTV off and getting all the right socket sizes in there. So stand by for some more fun. And here are the 8 bolts being checked at 16 foot-pounds, 185 to 195 inch-pounds. It's easy to divide by 12, and you find yourself from 15.45 to 16.15. So 16 works pretty good as a number to remember. By the way, you might want to know that with the shock absorbers in place, it makes it real hard to get a torque wrench on the nut head. So usually you have to take the shock absorbers loose from the bracket and move them out of the way and take a look at everything. Unfortunately, we had all that open the other day as we were getting the strut out, but as an FYI, you can save a little bit of time by moving the shock absorbers. We hope you found all this useful and informative. Thanks for watching Grumman Pilot's YouTube channel, and have a good day flying your Grumman.